All right, welcome everyone. My name is Danny Moss, as I mentioned, and you are here to learn about Google Slides and using Google Slides as a digital learning canvas. So there are some awesome things that we're going to be able to do with Google Slides. If you'd like to do these things with me and kind of try out at least some of them, you are welcome to do that. I know some people like to split their screen. If you're on a Windows computer, it's quite easy to do this, holding down the Windows key and then pressing either the left arrow. Watch me do it on my screen here. I'm pressing Windows right key. Whoops, wrong one. Let's go into my Chrome and Windows right arrow. So now I've got this on the right side. You can go into another program like Zoom and then hold down Windows key and then the left arrow, and then you've got your Zoom on your left, your computer screen on your right. You can try stuff out. It's up to you. I don't know how big your screen is. I don't know if this works very well for you, but you can do it if you want to. But I'm just going to demo these things for you, just how wonderful Google Slides is as more than just a presentation tool. You can use it in your instruction with your students. You can even use it for student work. I'm going to look into all those things. All right, so I'm going to start a brand new slides, and there's a couple of ways you can do this. So a really fast way to start a brand new Google Slides is just to type in your browser slides.new. This is going to open up a brand new Google Slides and just save it in your general Google Drive, okay? Now, you may or may not want to do it that way. Another way you can do it, I'm going to open up a new tab, and you can also visit your Google Drive. drive.google.com. That's where all of these Google files are stored anyways. So what you can do there is, if you want this slide deck that you're working on to be in a certain folder, you can either create that folder or just start in a particular folder. Let's say I pick this class website folder. Now I can go new and I can see Google Slides. Then it'll save it in that particular folder, okay? You can kind of work backwards when you're in here. By when you're already in a blank Google Slides that you just randomly started, maybe through that slides.new, you can go and move that presentation. If you look just to the right of where the title is, you'll see a star, but you'll also see a move. And this will let you kind of drill back into certain folders, and it'll stuff that Google Slides into that particular folder that you want it in, if you want it in a certain place. So those are options you have. Before we go any further in terms of all the cool stuff you can add and insert, both for yourself as a teacher as well as getting students to interact with these slides, I want to send you to some really cool, like there are some built-in themes here, and it just pops up when you open a brand new Google Slides. You notice that? There are some really nice free Google Slides and PowerPoint themes out there. And two sites that I would recommend. One is called Slides Go. Put the link there. And so basically what you do here is, if you see a particular slide deck that you like, oh lovely, there's a COVID-19 theme, everyone. Hooray. No, thank you. But I might like this one for a literature lesson. It even lets me kind of scroll through and just see what all the slides would look like. Oh, that looks interesting. Okay, yeah, sure, I want a copy of this. So you basically click on the one you want and check it out. Use a Google Slides theme or download a PowerPoint. So you choose. I'm going to say Google Slides, and it will open up a link that will force you to make a copy. Now it's going to be saved in your own Google Drive. Make a copy. So at this point in time, I have two basic options when I've imported these different themes. Welcome to the four more people who just arrived. On Slides Go, when you make that copy of your own theme, I can now just start working on this as if it's my own presentation. Or if I was already working in another slide deck, I could just apply this theme, this literature lesson theme. I could apply that to my new slides. Okay, I'm just going to pop over two tabs. Remember I had started this one? Well, let's say I'd close this theme thing. So if I go under Format, sorry, my bad. If I go under Theme, I click away from all my text and I choose Theme right at the top and open this back up, you'll notice at the bottom right-hand corner, there's an option to import a theme. So if I don't want to just change the words on here and I instead want to just, but I like that look, I can go into my own sample slides that I have and I can choose Import Theme. And it will find different slide decks that I have recently opened or worked on. Here's that literature lesson one, and I say select. And do I want to import this theme? It'll give me one final look here. Literature lesson by Slides Go. I'll say import theme. And then just to this new slide deck I have here, this new theme is imported. So what does that mean? Well, in Google Slides, there's a little plus to add a new slide. But if I hit the down arrow just next to it, you can see all the different kinds of slides that you can insert using this theme, because this theme has a whole bunch of pre-made on the slide master. So that is a cool thing. And so you can go to this Slides Go and check out, there's all sorts of themes. You can get as many as you want, doesn't cost anything. All right, now Slides Carnival is another one that is basically the exact same thing. I've seen Slides Carnival for a long time, and Slides Go, I just pasted that link to Slides Carnival into your group chat as well. But it's essentially the same thing. So I can just scroll through and find ones that I like. If I see one I really like, wow, this is a super cool one. Why don't I pick one that's a little simpler? All right, let's say I want this one. All I do, I can cycle through these and see, go to a preview and download. So I click the preview. Now I can go through this slide deck and see all the different slides that are there. Okay, yeah, I like it. Well, do I want to download it as PowerPoint or Google Slides? Well, let's say Google Slides for this time. And it's going to do it a little bit differently than Slides Go did, where it forced you to make a copy. It'll just say, hey, this is your presentation. Do you want to use this as a template? So I would say use template, and that would just be in the upper right corner of your Slides Carnival. It'll say use template. And basically now you've got, it's going to chug-a-lug along for a moment, and then it's going to basically open this slide deck in sort of that editing version. It's now in your Google Drive. Good. So once again, if you want to use the template right from these people and then just change your words, that's fine. But if you also want to start with your own blank slide deck and then choose in the bottom right-hand corner of the themes, that orange button, that yellow button, import theme, you can now find different themes that you've recently looked at. There it is. There's this Mutis one. So I can just hit select, and then it will redo this particular slide deck. In fact, I'll choose this one, which I think I got from, I'm trying to remember, I think I got this from Slides Carnival, the Lumina. So I'm importing that theme. We're going to get to the good stuff here first, right away, everybody, on the stuff you can actually import. But it is kind of neat to see how you can make this beautiful really quickly by using some other people's themes. It does. The question asked privately was, does the theme change affect all of the formatting that already exists on that slide? Yes, it does actually. It does affect all of the formatting that's currently there. So you can see what happened to my title, my sample slide. All right, so there's all sorts of stuff that I can add to my slide deck. Okay, so let's get to some of this stuff now that we've got some beautiful things on it. I'm just going to change back to a very simple, I'm going to just do a brand new presentation, just a blank one, but just know that you can change those themes as you choose, okay? But I'll just keep it simple for our purposes here on this demo. So what kind of things can you bring into your slides to make it this kind of digital learning canvas? Well, one very easy way to do this is to insert an image. And there is a Google image search built right into Google Slides and Google Docs, and it opens on the very right side of your screen, which is kind of handy. So if I wanted to search for parts of a plant, I could go and find pictures of that and then insert. Now these are copyright-free images, being that this is a Google for Education. And once you have the image on your screen, you can rearrange it, you can rotate it, you can resize it as you choose. If you ever need to crop off a certain part of a picture, double click. See what happened? I'll do it again. Double click on your picture. You see these cropping tools now that I use them and drag. I can crop out certain parts of the picture that I don't want, okay? So that's what the crop tool does. It just crops out certain parts of the image that I don't want. And you may have seen this before. So images are really handy things to bring in onto your slides. Very easy to use that. The other thing I'll show with images, now you may have them saved in your Google Drive. Later on, I'm going to show you some Google Slides add-ons where you can add some really, really gorgeous copyright-free pictures from places like Unsplash as a Google Slides add-on. But the other thing I want to show you is you can add images from a camera. This is not going to work because my camera is working. Give me one sec. Turn off my video for Zoom. So you can insert an image from your camera. Now, why would you ever want to do this? Come on, let's try that again. Darn it, well, just because I had used it in, I'm gonna just hit refresh, let's see if that works. So a really handy reason for using your camera in a Google slide is if you want to digitize something. Let's see if this works. All right, so if I want to digitize this book cover, I can just hit the camera button and I can now bring that picture right in and digitize. This is also good for students if they want to use this in their Google Slides. Maybe they want to insert a math problem they have worked out, or something, a piece of writing or a piece of art that they had worked on. It's very easy to bring in those pictures. And again, if you remember what I said about how to crop this, just double click, and now I can crop out the parts of this picture that I want to remove. It's a little bit of practice, and now I've just got the part that I want to keep. Okay, so inserting pictures is certainly one thing you can do via search, something in your Google Drive, or by camera. There are a couple of other options there, but I'm not going to really focus on that right now. So I'm just going to hit to add a brand new slide, and let's move on. So another very easy thing to add to your slides are links. So let's say I want to say, click here to go to the plant website. Let's stick with our grade 4 science theme, okay? Well, what you can do is if you have a website, so I'm going to go to, I always like to pump the tires of the ATA library, because we worked with tolearn.ca in their final year, and we brought in all the Toollearn websites. Just put that link in the group chat here. These subject guides are from Toollearn. So even though Toollearn no longer exists, we have them at the ATA library. And so I could go find science, grades K to 6, and I could find grade 4, and I could find plant growth and changes in there. I know I went quickly on that, but let's just say I want this parts of a plant. Okay, that's a bit of a pain in the neck. So sorry about that, everybody. Let's choose a different one that won't ask me for the Hinterlands Who's Who. Anybody remember those videos? Does anybody still remember the magical? Take it back, everybody. So that is a website. So what I can do in there is copy that YouTube, go back to my Google Slides, and wherever I want that YouTube video to be a link, I can, let's say I want the words click here to turn into that website. I'm going to highlight these words. Top center, look for the link button, insert link. Now I can just paste, Control V. You are correct, Lisa Marie. When the world was a little bit less crazy, and we all, as kids, watched the Hinterland Who's Who videos. So now this is this text here on my slide turns into a link. So I can now, students can click it and then click on that, and then they can go to that, watch that YouTube video. So adding text links is super, super easy. Now, why don't we do some math counters? Because you might want to do some virtual math manipulatives with your kids and send them each a copy through Google Classroom to then maneuver around to display some sort of a math concept that they know. So let's say I just like some little math counters. We have some, I'm going to just get rid of this text box. So now I'm going to look at the shapes. You can see it either in the insert menu, shapes, but there's also right on the Google Slides page, there is a shapes icon. Do you see it? You may see it on my screen. You may see it on your own screen. So shapes, and lots of different types of shapes that you can insert. Arrows, callouts, all sorts of things. So let's say I want to make some little circular counters. All right, once I've created that shape, you'll now see that the fill tool all up above there gives me some options. So let's say I want some red counters. I can make a whole bunch of these really quickly. I can right click and copy and right click and paste, but there's a faster way in Google Slides. And that is duplicate. Okay, I can duplicate slides, I can duplicate shapes, I can duplicate pretty much anything. And the keyboard shortcut for duplicate is Control D. If you're on a Mac, it would probably be that little Command D. So watch this, Control D, 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 D. Now I've got a whole bunch of shapes. Okay, I've got a whole bunch of counters. So what I can do with that now is it's really easy to maneuver your stuff around. It does not have an infinite cloner, Leanna, unfortunately, like Smart Notebook. So this is where people try to recreate that pretend infinite cloner. And by just duplicating a whole bunch of copies. And so now, how do I line them up easily? Do I have to really take a whole bunch of time to stack them on top of each other? No. What I'm going to do, watch this. I'm going to drag all around all of them. See how I did that? Okay. Just drag your mouse all around all of them. And now there is an arrange toolbar at the top. I could also right click and choose arrange. So I'm going to align them left, and then I'm going to align them, let's say top. See, now they're all on top of one another. It's almost like the infinite cloner. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm going to undo, 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 undo. So you can make a whole bunch of these, and that students can now maneuver around the page. So now if I go to Google Classroom, I go into my Google Classroom, I want to give the students all a copy of these. Now this particular slide deck, what should I call it? Danny Sample. So in your Google Classroom, you go into your classroom, go into that classwork area. That's the place where you create work for students. If you're a Google Classroom user, please disregard if you're D2L Brightspace or Teams. It's easy to do that there too. Create an assignment, and I'm going to say math counters. Whoops. Where are those living? They're living in my Google Drive. And guess what? Google Classroom gives me the most recent file I've been working on. So let's say I have a file with just a Google slide with just 1 or 2 slides that have these math virtual manipulatives. I just click on that sample. Now I give students, make a copy for each student, and now they have their virtual manipulatives or whatever else I have in that Google Slides. They have their own copy of it. that they can maneuver around and do things with, okay? Oh, very cool. Thank you, Annalise. Annalise has given us a keyboard shortcut, everyone. Control question mark. You can see all the keyboard shortcuts. Let's try that out. Control question mark. Well, look at that. And Annalise, gold star for you. Thank you. All right, so that is a great way to learn about those keyboard shortcuts. So we're moving on. So just know that you can insert all sorts of shapes for any variety of reasons. And on top of any one of those shapes, you can even add text. So if you add a shape like, let's say you wanted to have kids drag some words around, terms and definitions, or any number of things. I could make something like a rounded rectangle, and then I can just double click in there or right click on there and go edit text. Now I can add some text on top of that shape. My shape, I'll call it. And now students can just drag this shape around at any time. So adding in shapes are some handy ways that you could start getting some interactivity when you make copies. Yes, Winston, it will be recorded, and I'll be posting it on that Google Doc with the listing of the sessions. I'll be posting the recordings too. So that is a handy feature of Google Slides. Let's move on to another one. And by the way, if the thought of creating all of these things from scratch really scares the heck out of you, I'm about to show you in a little while a whole bunch of ready-made templates that take advantage of all of these features and more. Just some awesome ready-to-use templates ready to go with your students that you can either alter or just, whether it's math manipulatives or stuff in science, language arts, graphic organizers, all, you name it. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these free templates with Google Slides or Google Drawings, very similar. But what I want to show you a feature of now is another insert feature for inserting video. So video is handy. You can either search from YouTube. Remember that Who's Who pollinators video that we had? I can copy that link, and now in my Google Slides, I can just paste that link in there. And here's that pollinators video, okay? So it will bring in this YouTube video now, which I can move around. Look what opened up on the right-hand side. I can drag this video, resize it as I want, but look at the format options. And if you aren't sure where that was, you bring in your YouTube video, right-click on the YouTube video and choose Format Options. This thing opens up because it can do a couple of things. For example, what if you want you have an 8-minute video and you want to only show from 1 minute and 22 seconds to 2 minutes and 33 seconds? You can choose here on the right-hand side, if you can see it, when you want that video to start and stop. So that's really handy. Now the autoplay when presenting, most kids when they're going to be looking at your slides are probably not going to be in presentation mode. But if they were to hit present, then it would just auto start that. Otherwise, all they do is just click on the video. And it'll just start. We never get tired of that. So if I wanted to start at the 30-second mark, watch what happens now. I hit play.
Sadly, many of them are in.
Jumps ahead to that certain mark. Okay, so super handy. There are a few other pieces on here that you could look at in terms of size, drop shadows and all that, but I'm just going to leave that. It's very easy to drag and drop, resize. So bringing in video into your slides, super easy. With that in mind, many of you have been interested. I'm going to stop my own video camera for a second. Many of you have been interested in using screen recording tools like Screencastify. This is a great use of Screencastify video. Let's say I want to record my webcam and give some instructions to students. Okay, I'm going to record my webcam. It's going to give me a couple of options. 3, 2, 1. I'll just try to drag that onto my screen so you can see there. Because I'm doing a whole bunch of recording of a recording of a recording, it just takes a couple seconds. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome. This is Mr. Moss here, and I'm going to give you a video introduction to this Google slide deck here. Thank you very much. So at any point, I want to stop that. I do that. And in a second, you'll see a brand new window pop up, or sorry, a brand new tab will pop up. Oh boy, don't I ever have a lot of windows open here. Let me close some of these. Good times. All right, so let's go back to where we were. Here is that video that was just recorded through Screencastify. Watch what's happening. See, it's automatically uploading that video to Google Drive. There, it's in there. So all I need to do is go into my Google Slides now. I'm going to get rid of this YouTube video. I'm going to go back to Insert, Video. And this time, instead of searching YouTube, I'm going to actually open it up from Google Drive. Now check it out. It's going to show recent video that I have worked in. It takes a minute or two to fully render that video. So you know what? There's a chance when I bring this in, it may say it's still processing this video. So, oh, there it is. It now works. Didn't take.
I'll just try to drag that onto my screen.
So here's my video introduction, and you know what? Like a dummy, it was probably 4 or 5 seconds until I started actually saying it properly. So why don't I change the start time to 4 seconds? Whoops, 04. And then that way, when they click on the video,
I'll just try to drag that onto my screen. You can see it.
Start at the right time. So there is the way to bring in some video instructions of your very own. Again, you can resize this on your screen and then share it with students. So bringing in video is super, super easy. Now, there's another new, fairly new feature of Google Slides. Let me start open. New slide. Adding audio to slides. Now, this one is a little bit trickier. You can add audio to your slides in a couple of ways. What it will do, if I go Insert Audio, it will look for audio files that you have in your Google Drive already. So if you don't have any, you want to record some, I'll show you. Some people want to be able to voice narrate. Maybe it's a language class. Click here to listen to the following paragraph. Or maybe you want to include some audio instructions for students who may need those audio instructions read to them from what's on the page. You can do that. Very easy to do. However, it's a 1 or 2 extra steps from things like Screencastify. There are a couple of websites out there where you can record your audio. One of them is Online Voice Recorder. Now, if it looks a little sketchy, I haven't fully looked into this one. I've used this one before and some of my colleagues have as well. Watch what happens, okay? I'm just gonna record. It's gonna say, hey, can we use your microphone? Allow. This is my audio recording that I am doing in Online Voice Recorder. Hit stop. As soon as I'm ready, I just hit save and look what it does. It's not saving it to their website, it's downloading it as an MP3 file. Now, I'm not quite done because in Google Slides, even though it would be wonderful if I could upload that in one shot for audio, it won't do it. Watch this. If I insert audio, it's got to be in my Google Drive already. It's not in there yet. So what I can do is open up my Google Drive, and then maybe I want to create a folder that's called audio files. Do you see how it's an extra step or two compared to the video with Screencastify? So if I just go into this audio folder, I can now take this, see it down here in the bottom of my Chrome, it downloaded that recording. So I could just drag and drop it. Now it's uploading it to Google Drive. Let's see, record, there it is. So now if I go into my Google Slides, you can insert audio, and it's just uploading. There it is. There's that most recent one that I did. I select it. Watch what happens. It'll bring it in, and it creates a little play button.
This is my audio recording that
There it is. So you can You can click away, you can drag that play button to different parts of the screen. I find it a little bit difficult to once it's in there, look, when I mouse over it, it just wants to start up. So I think if anybody has a good technique.
This is my audio recording that I am doing an online voice
I
recorder.
can make that a different size and I can drag it around, but it is a little bit, once you've got it on your screen, I do personally find that it's a little bit tricky to grab this and move it around, because every time I mouse over it, it wants to open up the play button. So the question from Courtney, where do you go to make a Screencastify? You're basically, go to screencastify.com and you'll be able to install an extension that looks just like this. It's that salmon colored. And this would be a good time to show you another, if you don't want to bother with that online voice recorder, check this out. You want to do your audio in one step? I'm going to record from Screencastify here. Now you might say to yourself, well, I don't want to record my webcam. Sorry, it's not letting me because I have my webcam started. So let's try that again in Screencastify. But what you can do in Screencastify, even though it says you're recording your webcam, you can save it as an audio file only. So 3, 2, 1, go. These are my audio directions. And even though you can see me on this webcam right now, I'm not going to save this as a video file. I'm going to save it as an audio file in Screencastify. Hit stop. Watch what we can do. Very easily. So if you like Screencastify and you're kind of getting used to that interface, then instead of using something like that online voice recorder, what you could do to make it a little bit easier on yourself is go into the video details of your whatever your screen recording is. Here it is. Now, see the download button over there? Check it out. Boom, export audio only. So I can now export that audio. It's going to get me ready to export a sound file, and now I can download it as an MP3. It'll still save down there, and I still have to upload it manually into my Google Drive. So it is a bit of a pain that way, but it is another way. If you prefer something like Screencastify and saving as a video instead of this online voice recorder or something else, that's the only problem I find with audio in Google Slides. I wish there was an inline audio recorder such that you could just, anytime you want, just record an audio file right in Google Slides. Not there yet, but just know that that feature is available. Okay, why don't we look at some add-ons that can make your Google Slides even better? So add-ons are it's almost like extensions or apps that's just meant for that application. So there is an add-ons menu in Google Slides, and go down to Get Add-ons, okay? There's a whole bunch here, and they're just meant to add extra functionality to Google Slides here. Are there any language teachers in the house? Anyone? Anyone? Let me know in the group chat. If not, I'll choose a different one. All right, some language teachers, wonderful. Spanish. So easy accents is a cool one. And it makes it a lot easier for you to bring in accents from various things into your slides. There's also an add-on for Google Docs as well. So check it out. I'm going to close this now. I've already installed it. So once I go Easy Accent Slides, now it's going to open up this little right sidebar there. Select a language. Well, let's go Spanish. Since the first person who responded said Spanish, so I could say anytime I want to include one of these special characters, I can just click it and it will pop in, okay? So anytime I just click that, it will work. So my apologies to all the Spanish people that I've offended, but just know that it shows up as a little, almost like a virtual keyboard button here. So I could also change my language to French. And now I have the various accents and so on that I can use and to bring in any of those special characters that are not in the standard English keyboard. So in Google Slides, you should see towards the right-hand side, next to the help, you should see a piece for add-on. Is it not there, CP? Just next to the help button? Anybody else see it on theirs? You should see it there. There's a couple of additional ones that are kind of cool in terms of get add-ons. There is one called Icons by Noun Project. So check this out. There are all sorts of cool copyright-free icons that will open up on the right-hand side, so that you can bring in. I can change the color of it, insert it. Boom, and it copies and pastes it onto the screen. So some very handy ways to visualize some of the work you're doing. So that Noun Project one is pretty handy. There's another one called Unsplash. I'm gonna choose add-ons, get add-ons. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of, oh, wonderful, CP. I don't know if you've ever heard of Unsplash. Here it is down here. It is basically a website that has a whole bunch of beautiful, these photographers have freely uploaded their beautiful, beautiful pictures copyright free, but we can bring them right into, all right, see you later. Thanks for joining us. And I'm gonna hit install. So this is the process you will see when you try to install one. It's gonna say, hey, what's your Google account, please? Because usually it involves them having to have access to your Google Slides, in some cases Google Drive, because it has to be able to, for example, insert that icon, or in this case, these pictures, into your Google Slides. So I've now finished given it permission. And where will it show up after it's finished? Well, you are welcome. Is it safe to let them have access to your Google Slides? Yes. Now, I'm not saying that every single add-on, they usually are vetted quite carefully. Ones like Unsplash, Noun Project, the ones I've shown have been around for quite a long time. I can't promise you every single one is safe, but I have never heard of any one of these Google Slides add-ons not being safe. So that's my wiggle out language to tell you that I'm not responsible. But I do believe, my personal belief is that it is safe. So once I do Unsplash, check this one out. Insert an Unsplash video. I've got this beautiful sidebar here. So I want to insert a gorgeous picture. I can search for anything I want, but all I do is then click on it and it'll bring it in. I can use it as a slide background, or I can make it smaller and have it on a portion of the screen. It's just some gorgeous, gorgeous images there. So you can check out those different add-ons if you wish to. And I'm going to show you two more things. One is another Chrome extension called Equatio. I don't know if any of you joined me on the Equatio session. Does anybody here have the read and write toolbar? Most school divisions do. The company that makes the read and write toolbar is called TextHelp. And TextHelp also has some additional tools. One of them is called Equatio. It's not free, but some school divisions, even though read and write is super widespread, I'd say probably 90% of school divisions in Alberta have read and write. I don't know how many have Equatio. But what I want you to see is you're not going to learn exactly how to do this. I just want you to show you the functionality. Check this out. I'm going to hit my Equatio extension up there. In a moment, you're going to see something pop down at the bottom of my screen. All right, here's my Equatio toolbar at the bottom. I can make math, and I could do something like my speech input and say 4x squared minus 3y plus the square root of 49 equals. And choose Insert Math. And it'll just pop it in as a picture. So things that might otherwise have been very difficult to do on a digitally here, I can now do very easily on here on my Google Slides. It works in Google Docs as well, Google Forms. Now check this out. There's a math space. I'm in Google Slides and I click the math space button and I have a whole digital canvas. So look at the kind of things I can put in. Let's say I want to put in Canadian coins. All right. So whatever else I want to put in here, I can put in a fraction bar. Right now it's going to show, let's say we want to show 3/8. Okay. So now I go hit this button up here, insert, and it's connected to my Google Slides, and it's just going to pop this back in here. So it pops it back as one single picture, but you can bring these pieces in, for example, the coins individually, such that you could have kids drag them around as well, one by one. So if you're really curious about Equatio, the Text Help, the company Text Help has been very good to Alberta teachers, and tomorrow at 1 o'clock, let's see, Wednesday at 1 o'clock, they're offering a free webinar. If you want to learn more about Equatio, especially high school teachers, but even elementary teachers who might want some examples of how to digitize math, there is a link on here where they're free. They're not using Zoom, they're using a tool called GoToWebinar. There's a registration. Anyhow, that is sort of just a general, this is what Equatio can do. And it wasn't that hard once you practice a little bit. So if you want to come back to that Equatio session, you'll learn a bit more about how. So the final thing I want to share with you is you may still be at the point where you're like, this is going to take me way too long. I don't have the hours and hours and hours to do all of this. I wanted to demonstrate what this tool could do for those of you who do like to create and do feel like you want to make the time to create on your own in various ways with any of these things: shapes, links, video, audio, the different add-ons for special characters, pictures, math in some cases. But there's a lot of ready-made stuff. Let me give you, if you haven't been to the Black Gold Engaging Students website, I'm just going to paste it in here. Glory, hallelujah, these people. So let's say I am a grade 3 teacher and I want to do some math. Let's say I want to be go into my the grade 3 area of this Engaging Students site, and you'll see a whole bunch of templates that they have available. Love Black Gold, agree. So I'm going to go into grade 3 math. Yeah, you can even do better, Marg. That Equatio math space, you saw me do the coins and the thing, that works exactly with Google Docs as well. They also have Equatio for Windows, so if you're a PowerPoint and a Word user, you can have that same functionality into those programs. All right, so I'm going to go into grade 3 math and into the number section and all sorts of stuff here. Let's see, understanding multiplication. There it is. So I'm going to double click on that to open it up. Super easy. Check it out. Look at all the different virtual manipulatives they've already set up on these pages here. This is a way to demonstrate a multiplication problem as an array that you just shade in with the shading tools, grouping, skip counting, and repeated addition. And then they give you sort of some blank canvases here for the students to do different problems where they could drag different pieces in and shade it in and move stuff around. This is just one example of a tool you can use. And so what you can do is you can, under any one of these templates that you see, you can go File, make a copy of the entire presentation. Now it's going to be saved in your Google Drive so that you can start submitting it through Google Classroom. So to show that again, I went to the Engaging Students. For this particular thing, I went into grade 3 resources. And then once I was in grade 3 resources, I went into the grade 3 math folder. And even in there, they kind of delineated it down to different strands, and I went into the number. But they also have what you'll see on this Black Gold site. They have some shared resources that are kind of just templates that are good for lots of different grade levels. And whether it's Google Slides or Google Drawings, they've got loads of different templates that are available, created. for you that you can use with your students right away. So I'm going to share with you another website as this one loads up. Check it out. There's all about me. There's 10 things to know. Let's see, there's a agree, disagree. There's all sorts of stuff. There's a magazine, virtual magazine cover. Darren Maltese. Darren Maltese, Leanna is telling me, is saying hi. He is a very special person who he has coordinated all of these. He's made many of them. Some of his teachers have made some of them. Some consultants from other school jurisdictions, like Trish Rofi from Edmonton Catholic, has made some of these as well. They're very good at sharing openly. So we thank you, Darren, and the team at Black Gold for all you're doing for Alberta teachers right now. So lots and lots here. Here's Edmonton Catholic's shared resources. And let me go down to Google Slides. All right, so there's all sorts of examples of templates. Anything you see you like, double click. Let's say you want to try a battleship game. Super cool. All you need to do when you see a template that you really like is you just go File, make a copy. Now it's yours. And you can share it how you wish to in Google. So it makes it very, very easy. So thank you to Black Gold and to Edmonton Catholic. And let me just paste the link to the Edmonton Catholic site there. Now I also, before we leave, I have to share some more templates. Sorry, I don't have this one ready yet. The Concordia, I teach at Concordia University of Alberta, just a half-time winter course. The MTech website, is it not public? Are you not seeing those Google Docs and things in there? It should be public to everyone. Bobby, I'm hoping anyways. So I'm going to go into Google Forms. And the students of Concordia did, for one of their projects, they did these different templates and slides and drawings, and they wanted to share those with you. And let me just find that, so please bear with me. Helping other Alberta teachers. Okay, here we go. So I will load up these folders. And I'll make that viewable to you. Let me just open up the sharing. Sorry guys, bear with me here. So you now have in various subject areas, let's open up science, for example. Here are some cool templates you can use with your students as well. So let me just find the link to this particular one and get that shareable link to you and paste it in here. So on behalf of the Concordia students, they wanted to share that with you as well. So there are a few in there you might find useful. Anyways, we are pretty much out of time. I will stick around to answer any questions you might have, but I just wanted to thank you for coming. This session will be repeated on Thursday. And let me just see that schedule time if you want to come back on Wednesday evening at 7 till 8. So if you have people that can only attend these sessions in the evening, certainly not expecting anyone to come in the evening, although we had on Monday night, we probably had 55 teachers come to a session from 7 until 8. So what I'm hoping you've seen here today is that Google Slides can be used for a lot more than just a slide presentation, whether it's virtual manipulatives or interactive learning objects that include videos, links, pictures, all sorts of things. I hope you're feeling like there are more options for you. And with the ready-made templates that great people at Black Gold and elsewhere have shared, will hopefully give you a head start so you don't have to create all these things from scratch. So thank you so much for participating. Where can we find the recorded session you're being asked? You're asking me rather. I will share this link with you. This is the Google Doc that has links to our other sessions. But what it also has is, as I record these sessions, I put the webinar recording links in there. So they'll just be the ones for this week. I still have to figure out a more permanent solution. Maybe I'll just add to this document on a week-by-week basis. I'm not entirely sure. But thank you so much for participating. Thank you for your kind words. And it's not perfectly polished, but hopefully it helps you a little bit. I'm going to stop the recording now. And